Satyameva Jyete, Satyameva Jyete. Truth always triumph. This is our basic principle in Bharat, India. It's a basic principle of our rule, our constitution, our existence in this country, because we don't believe in fake, false, and fabrication. We believe in truth, that is existence, and truth is God, according to our culture. We call truth means truth and nothing but truth. This is our principle which we had to abide by, and which is above humanity. If truth exists, humanity is fine, and if truth doesn't exist, humanity is not fine. So I start with this specific slogan of our country: truth always triumphs. Satyameva Jyate, which is very important, under which we have come. And I am using this phrase just to analyze what has happened and what was right and what was wrong and what should have been done. That is very important and significant, and just rewinding, just retrieving what we are governed by, which principles according to our constitution. Just to refresh that, I like to just repeat that, because that is very important for each and everybody, each citizen of our. And because people forget often, I like to remind them, and we have to understand whether we know that or we don't know that, because preambles and duties of citizens, our preambles which claim that we people of Bharat, India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India Bharat into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and these five words I abbreviate as SSSDR. So people are not using that, but this is there. We cannot deny this. SSSDR, Bharat, India, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring dignity of individual and unity and integrity of nation. We have to pick out from that these five parameters, these five basic principle words: SSSDR, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, are these delivering to our citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thoughts, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and opportunity. If these are not being guaranteed, there is no meaning of Satyam Jayate. We have to check that, examining based on various acts being done in our country. Are we getting justice, or it is only for namesake? Are we enjoying liberty of thought, expression, etc., or it's for namesake? Or are we having equality of status and opportunity, or that is also for namesake? And if these are all three for namesake, fraternity got no meaning, dignity got no meaning, and individuality and unity of nation got no meaning, because all that are fake if we are not complying by this, if we are not abiding by this. And then let us move further to fundamental duties, which are covered under Article 51A of our Constitution. And it says, duty of citizen. It is mandatory to abide by Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, national flag and national anthem, to cherish and follow noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom, to uphold and protect sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India Bharat, to defend country and render national service when called upon to do so, to provide harmony and a spirit of brotherhood amongst all people of ours, India, Bharat, transcending religious, linguistic, and regional or sectional diversities to renounce practice derogatory to dignity of women, to value and preserve rich heritage of our culture, to protect and improve natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures, to develop scientific temper, humanism, and spirit of inquiry and reform, to safeguard public property, and to abjure violence, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity, so that nation constantly rises to higher level of endeavor and achievement, and who is a parent or guardian to provide opportunities for education to child, or as case may be ward in age 6 and 14. We have to understand them first. If we cannot understand these basic principles of rights, privileges, and duties, we cannot know anything about our country. It is very important. बहुत जरूरी है जानना कि हम एक्चुअली क्या है, वास्तव में क्या है। हम सिर्फ क्या रहने के लिए रह रहे हैं, या इस संविधान का नाम मात्र के लिए है, इसको क्या अप्लाई करना है या नहीं करना है, इसको हमें समझना चाहिए, या हम बस नाम के लिए संविधान रखा है और जीते जा रहे हैं, बस जो पोस्टें संविधान में दी हैं उनके अपॉइंटमेंट कर दो, उसके बाद बात खत्म। इज इट यू थिंक राइट? क्या इंसाफ मिल रहा है लोगों को? समाज का इंसाफ, अर्थव्यवस्था का इंजाम और राजनीति का इंसाफ? ये जस्टिस जो हम कहते हैं, जस्टिस सोशल, इकोनॉमिक और पॉलिटिकल, लिखा है पूरा। आपको सामाजिक न्याय मिलेगा, आपको आर्थिक न्याय मिलेगा, आपको राजनीतिक न्याय मिलेगा। ये मिल रहा है क्या? ये एक बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन मार्क है। लिबर्टी ऑफ बिलीफ, फेथ एंड वर्शिप, आपके विचारों की स्वतंत्रता क्या आपके पास है? आप जो लिखना चाहते हैं क्या उसकी स्वतंत्रता आपके पास है? जो विश्वास आप करना चाहते हैं क्या उसकी स्वतंत्रता है? जो आप धार्मिक रहना चाहते हैं, पूजा पाठ करना चाहते हैं, क्या उसकी स्वतंत्रता आपके पास है? क्या आपको बराबरी दी जा रही है? आपको अवसर दिए जा रहे हैं? ये सब जानना जरूरी है। हम जानते हैं लिखा है संविधान में, पर ये हो रहा है क्या? संविधान को इम्प्लीमेंटेशन किया जा रहा है या नहीं किया जा रहा है? एक नागरिक की हैसियत से ये मेरा आपका जानने का पूरा अधिकार है, समझने का अधिकार है। हमारा अधिकार है कि इन सब बातों को ध्यान में रखते हुए हम जिस सरकार को बनाते हैं, भारत की जनता जिस सरकार को बनाती है, जिस भी संस्थान को बनाती है, चाहे वो एग्जीक्यूटिव हो, चाहे वो न्यायपालिका हो, चाहे वो हमारा पार्लियामेंट हो, ये हमारा अधिकार है जानने का कि क्या वो लोग इस संविधान के हिसाब से काम कर रहे हैं या नहीं कर रहे हैं, और यदि नहीं कर रहे हैं तो क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं। We as citizens of this country have every right to analyze these parameters SSSDR, as I explained to you, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and we have to check and examine whether or not we have been enjoying and we have been availing, and these deliveries have been made regarding justice, liberty, and equality. Justice means social, economic, and political justice, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, etc., and equality of states and opportunity. It's every right of citizen, every and each right of each citizen, that he has a duty to examine and analyze this, whether one is deprived of this right or one is allowed to avail these rights. It's very important. If we are deprived of these rights, there's no meaning of citizenship. Then you are a suppressed citizen, you are a divided citizen, you are a slave citizen. And if we are given these rights politically, freely, without any obstruction, you can say you are a democratic citizen, you are having sovereign status, socialist status, secular status, democratic status, republican status. We have to examine ourselves, and if we cannot examine despite having higher degrees of education certificates, then there is no meaning of those certifications and those education which you are having. As a citizen, it's my duty to raise questions, to executive, to judiciary, as well as to legislature. Otherwise, there is no meaning of those institutions for whom I am paying taxes, and they are working and enjoying my money for their lives. It is my duty, and if you understand that, that's fine. And if you think that you are a slave, I cannot explain to you. And if you go further down, where your further duties are, where your rights of duties are, fundamental duties for this, you have to do accordingly, and that says आपको संविधान को मानना होगा, आपको उन विश्वासों की, उन मंजिलों का रिस्पेक्ट करना होगा, उनका कह सकते हैं इज्जत करनी होगी, उन संस्थानों की, उन नेशनल फ्लैग की, राष्ट्र के झंडे की, राष्ट्र के गान की आपको इज्जत करनी पड़ेगी, और आप करते हैं, मैं मानता हूँ। और जिस विचारों के लिए, जिस मंजिल के लिए हमारे स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों ने इतनी सेक्रीफाइसेस दी, इतना स्ट्रगल किया इस विश्वास पे कि उनको स्वतंत्रता मिलेगी, उसको हमको उस पर उठाना होगा, उसको हमको आगे बढ़ाना होगा, और देश की स्वतंत्रता को, देश की प्रभुसत्ता संपन्नता को, देश की एकता को ऊपर उठाना होगा। हमें अपने देश को जब भी जरूरत होगी बचाना होगा, लड़ाई के लिए जाना होगा, या जो भी हम कर सकते हैं वो करना होगा। हमें देश में एकता कायम रखनी होगी, विश्वास कायम रखना होगा, और भाईचारे को बढ़ाना होगा। एक ये नहीं सोचेंगे कौन किस धर्म का है, कौन किस कास्ट का है, कौन किस भाषा का है, कौन किस क्षेत्र का है, और कौन क्या है क्या नहीं, सबको भूल के हमको आगे चलना होगा। और कोई भी हमारी महिलाओं की, ह्यूमन की नुकसान कोई किया जाएगा, उनकी डिग्निटी पे, उसके अभिमान पे, उनकी इज्जत पे, तो उसका ख्याल रखना होगा, उसको चेक करना होगा। और जो हमारे कल्चर्स हैं, हर धर्मों के, हर समाज के, उसको हमको सुरक्षित रखना होगा, आगे बढ़ाना होगा। और जो भी हमारा वातावरण है देश का, इस जमीन पे जो भी जंगल हैं, लेक हैं, झील हैं, नदियां हैं, नाले हैं, जंगली जीवन है, और जो भी क्रिएचर्स, प्राणियां रहते हैं, उनकी रक्षा करनी होगी, उनको सुधारना होगा, और वैज्ञानिक भाव को आगे बढ़ाना होगा, उसको वैल्यू समझनी होगी, उसको मजाक में नहीं लेना होगा, और जो भ्रम है जिसमें हम रहते हैं उसको हटाना होगा, इंसानियत, मानवता को आगे बढ़ाना होगा, और हर चीज के बारे में जानना होगा, सुधारना होगा। पब्लिक की सार्वजनिक प्रॉपर्टी को सुरक्षित रखना होगा, उसको बचाना होगा, और हमको कोई ऐसा काम नहीं करना होगा जिसमें अहिंसा हो, और एक ऐसे रास्ते की तरफ बढ़ना होगा हर व्यक्ति को और ग्रुप को, हर ग्रुप को, जिससे हमको एक्सपर्टीज मिले, हमको आप कह सकते हैं विशेषज्ञता प्राप्त हो, आगे बढ़ने की हर विशेषज्ञता से भी विशेषता प्राप्त हो, जिससे कि हमारा देश ऊंचाइयों को छू सके, और प्राप्ति कर सके हर उस चीज की जो नहीं की जा सकी। और हर बच्चे के लिए शिक्षा 6 से 14 साल तक को जरूरी प्रदान करनी होगी। ये बातें हम समझते हैं, नहीं समझते हैं, वी हैव टू चेक दैट, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट व्हाट्स हैपनिंग इन दिस कंट्री, वी मस्ट अंडरस्टैंड दैट। Only speaking is not enough, only understanding constitution is not enough, only having institution is not enough. We have to check whether or not they are working, we have to check whether we know what we are. It's very important. Just saying we have government and we have all our government according to law. Executive is a government, legislature is a government, judiciary is a government, and public is a super government. Though it's not written, but because public has delivered this constitution, public produced this constitution, and public approved and applied this constitution and delivered this constitution itself. So totality of public is super governance, which has to supervise, which has to rule, which has to give directions to all these institutions. That is what our constitution is. We have to be very clear about that. Why to have shame? Why to say? Why to feel depressed? There's no question of depression, because every authority, every power in this country has to report to public, and that's it. That is a very important fact. Until we have this kind of pride in ourselves, we cannot run this country and we cannot keep this safe. हमको अपने आप को जानना बहुत जरूरी है। हम क्यों नहीं जानना चाहते? या हम इसलिए नहीं जानना चाहते कि या अपने आप को हम गिरा हुआ समझते हैं, या आपको हम समझते हैं कि हम कुछ है नहीं। आवश्यकता नहीं जानने के लिए आपके बहुत ज्यादा पढ़े लिखे हों, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। आपका दिमाग काम करना चाहिए, मस्तिष्क में वो आवाज आनी चाहिए जो आप चाहते हैं जानना। आपका मस्तिष्क खाली नहीं रहना चाहिए। आप पैसा कमाते हैं, मेहनत करते हैं, पसीना बहाते हैं, खून बहाते हैं, दिन रात धूप में काम करते हैं, हर मौसम में काम करते हैं। किसके लिए करते हैं? पहला तो आप अपने लिए करते हैं, दूसरा आप अपने समाज के लिए करते हैं, तीसरा अपने देश के लिए करते हैं, और चौथा आप उन लोगों के लिए करते हैं जो आपके पैसे की कमाई से, आप जो टैक्स देते हैं उस कमाई से ऐश करते हैं जिंदगी भर। वो सरकारी लोग, वो संस्थाएं जिनको आप पैसा देते हैं, वो पैसा वो नहीं कमाते, वो उस पैसे पे ऐश करते हैं। कमाते तो आप हैं। यहाँ के 90% लोग जो बहुत पैसे वाले नहीं हैं, मेहनत वो करते हैं, और खाते वो 10% लोग हैं, जिसमें सारे इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट भी आते हैं, उद्योगपति भी आते हैं, और ये नेता जिनको हम बनाते हैं, या हमको इंटेलेक्चुअल जिनको बना के रखते हैं, चाहे वो यूनिवर्सिटीज में रखते हो, या उनको जुडिशरी में रखते हो, या उनको लेजिस्लेचर में करते हो, वो मौज उड़ाते हैं। This is a very, you can say, reliable question we have to ask ourselves. Are we living for them? Are we working for them? Are we spending our blood and sweat and hard work in sun and thunderstorm for them? Why we should pay taxes to them if they are not disposing to us what is requirement? If they are not valuing us, they are taking us for granted from all these institutions, then why should we care for them? It's a big question mark for every citizen to contemplate. We are not slaves anymore. Slavery has gone 72 years back and 500 years back. It is gone. We are no more slaves. We are slaves of our constitution. But until we understand that slave master's constitution, how can we amend ourselves? Always thinking I am not educated, always thinking I am poor, always thinking I am helpless. This would not solve your problem. Even if you are not educated, even if you are not having stamina, your mind is free of cost given to you without any charges. Use that. Not necessarily everybody is a person who is not very well educated, but that person is very good mason, that person is very good carpenter, that person is very good technician, that person is very good driver. You cannot say only education is an answer. Work is an answer, technicality is an answer, understanding method is an answer. We have to see that. If somebody knows work to do by hand, handicraft, you cannot call that person illiterate. Yes, that person is illiterate to next university education is concerned, but that university was taught in some Islam, that is also a university, unrecognized one. We have to take that very big point into ourselves. If you cannot understand, nothing is possible. These educated people who want education, they can abuse our culture, they can abuse our powers, they take our powers, they got to those offices by our powers, and then they abuse ourselves only. This is not acceptable. Why I am saying that Satyameva is very significant word. I have to think on this. It's not simply Bharat Mata ki Jai. Bharat Mata is there, land is there, and there is song, and there is everything is there. There is Vande Mataram also, very nice, that is Sujalam Suphalam Alayala Sitalam Swasta Shayamlam. Everything is there. Everything has a meaning. It is all appreciation to land. There is water, there is wind, there is fruit, there is land, there is crop, there is everything, there is moon, there is sun, everything is there, including that one. That's fine. That is an imagination for explanation, appreciation, admiration for this land on which we have been staying and living for centuries and millenniums. There is our own pride. But does that solve question? Does that solve question? This is an imagination, a poem. And land is also imagination, because land is land. After all, we are people on this land. If we are not there, land has got no meaning at all. We just say Bharat Mata ki Jai. That's right, that's very fine. There's respect for motherland, but is it to motherland, or is it to yourself? If you do not exist there, what's the value of the land? What's the value of river? What's the value? All are useless. You don't have to use. If you are there, you can't save them. You make yourself equal. That's why you are all like that. So you have to understand the resources which you have: constitutional resources, mental resources, and physical resources, and public resources, and human resources, and natural resources. For whom they are there. We are just busy in religious approach only. Secularism, we are not understanding what secularism is. Sovereignty, we are not understanding what is this. We are not understanding what is socialism, and what is sovereignty, and what is secularism, and what is democracy, and what is republic. These are only terms for sake of writing within. Who is analyzed them? There is no explanation, but you have to create explanation. These must be explained. If these were not explained in those days, now this should have been explained, because we know what is that. We understand meaning, we understand application, we understand theology behind that, we understand art behind that, we understand article value behind that. We cannot understand those articles, those phrases which apply to our life or living. There's no meaning at all. Why should we worry about that? If I am sovereign, I don't understand sovereignty. What is sovereignty? Have you ever thought of what is socialist? What is secular? We have to first understand them. It's not necessary that it must be written. It is indirect sense. Forget word sense. Use practical sense. We have very educated courts, intellectuals, educated professors, educated engineers and doctors, and all professionals. We have illiterate politicians and literate politicians. We have government servants who are illiterate, literate both. We have to keep everything in mind and describe to ourselves, explain to ourselves what we are, among which situations, among which considerations we have been living in this country. Have we to export every knowledge from abroad? Are English going to tell us what we are? German going to tell us what we are? America going to tell us what we are? No, we have to find ourselves. And if 140 crore people cannot extract this information from themselves, then there is no use out that people. There is no mind at all. That's I should say. We are 1/5 population of world. We have to be serious. If 20% people are not serious, and you cannot expect something else. You are a kind of lead people in this world, and if you just keep yourself within those environment which has nothing to do with practical life, you cannot go further. You cannot take any chance. You cannot apply these, you can say, fundamental duties, and you cannot apply your preambles and forget all articles of constitutions. Constitution means that it is a group of institutions. This is co-institutions. All institutions are moving together. That is co-institution, constitution. And institution is legalized status of that body. So we have institution of legislature, institution of executive, institution of judiciary, and other institutions which are statutory and non-statutory. And institution of press. These are all institutions, all are defined in constitution or extra-constitutional statutes. And pre-independent statute. We have to take this into, I'm not a lawyer. You are not necessary to be lawyer. Why you want to be lawyer? You want to understand your life. These laws are life. These laws are not based on physics, chemistry, biology, mathematical, differential equation, etc. These are based on experience. How you want to live in this society, on what basis we have to move further, what is value of a citizen, what is value of everybody in this, what is value of this institution, what is value of vote, what is value of government, what is value of public. These must be understood, just like we study in social science. So what is crowd, what is institution, what is group, what is this and what is that. Do we study or not? We study there. But only study is not enough. That knowledge should be applied. If you don't apply knowledge, it is worthless. No need, you are a PhD, you are masters, but if you don't apply that, you keep certificate on wall, and then there is no use of that knowledge. Without application of knowledge, you cannot achieve something. That is very significant. I'm not explaining just to bore you, but I'm serious about that. Future has to come. Only 72 years have gone since we got independent. It's not very long period, you can say, in history of a country. America has gone many centuries back in its independence. Still they are not reaching to that mark of they are named superpowers. Only superpower they themselves consider, but they are not. When they cannot control their tornado, when they control their cyclones, when they cannot find solutions to their problem, this means they are only relative superpower because they compare to ours or they compare to some other country. For that they are superpower, but otherwise not. They may go to moon, doesn't matter. They may go to Jupiter, doesn't matter. They may go to whatever they want. It has nothing to do with what we are here. That is one part of life, but this is another part of life. First, we have to live here. We have to analyze what our institutions are doing. First institution is, let us say, in our legislature. Are we happy with this legislature? We have a question to understand. Why don't we understand what legislature is? It is elected legislature. We are electing legislature. We are not electing government. Remember, According to our provisions in the Constitution, we elect legislatures. It may be state legislature or it may be central legislature. That's called parliament. And in parliament too also, there's only one house. We don't elect other house. We don't elect president ourselves. So only 1/3 of parliament we elect, and that is known as Lok Sabha, common house. We are sending representatives to this, but we are not considering that point of view. Our life, Constitution says you do it. Constitution is clear in that, but we are not understanding. We are understanding only one thing: we have to constitute a government. We cannot constitute a government. Impossible. No one has right to constitute government. This is complete fake. Why we are in that fakeism? We say fake news, we say fabricated news, we say false news. You all yourself false. You are accepting despite understanding it's wrong. You are accepting that fake. Why do you say I want to elect government? You are not going to elect government. Impossible. You are not authorized. You are not empowered by Constitution to elect government. You are saying elect government. I have to elect people. You cannot do that. This is a wrong attitude. If you don't have this attitude, you cannot improve this country. That is my challenge. That is my challenge to everyone. Prove that you are going to elect government. It is written in the Constitution. Why you are wasting your time? Why you are wasting time of people and time of country in fake consideration? It's a fake consideration. Person to whom you want to elect is not one who actually you are electing. We have to understand this point. This weakness of public, these people, these political people who are nothing, who are taking power from our power, and they are then becoming dictators or rulers themselves. We are misleading them, we are misleading ourselves. They have misunderstanding and we have misunderstanding. Why don't you check it? Is it a part of Jyete or not? What is truth? You have to accept that. But you are not accepting truth, you are accepting opposite truth. Is it not a question? You tell me. There is a system. It's clearly given by a person who wrote this constitution. That person has concept those days, 75 years back, that this system should be like this. But we condemn that practically. We overlook that and say, no, this is system. What we understand is this system. Means you are understanding without understanding Constitution. Your result, your approach without understanding Constitution is forcing you to do something illegally, something not required. You are happy at that, but you are not happy to use your real power which is given to you, because you are not reading books. You are not reading source. Constitution is a resource. Read this. This is your constitution. You devise that. You are responsible for that. Neither jury is responsible for that, nor this is you are public. You are responsible for that. Judiciary is working for you. Legislature is working for you. Executive is working for you, and whole nation is working for you. But you do not understand this. Try to replace your Bharat citizenship understanding with American citizenship understanding, with English citizenship understanding, because they are more experienced in democratic procedures than you are. They value laws very well, better than what we understand. So we have to learn from them, because we could not understand ourselves. We are weak in that. You have to consider how UK is working, how America is working. That is called democracy. They value a person. They value vote, they value institution. That is called democracy. Law is applicable in America. You think American state of law is same as our status of law? We are just abusing law. We are just abusing constitution. But those people not abusing, they are smart enough. We are talking about smart city, but we are not talking about smart application of laws and smart application of legislatures and smart application of executive and smart application of judiciary and smart application of every citizen right. We are not talking about that. We are only talking about our nonsense, our stupidity, and how we are just jumping and dancing on something we don't know. We're just jumping and dancing. Jyete is far, far, far distant from us. Though we worship Jyete, yes, every religion Jyete, It's nothing to do with religion. It is to do with truth. Truth must be respected. Truth must be complied with. Truth must be digested. Truth must be spoken. Truth must be done. There is no truth but truth, truth and truth. No false. Truth is there. It cannot be defied. It cannot be overridden. It cannot be superseded. It cannot be superimposed. Truth is truth. There will be billions and trillions and million fakes and falses, deceptions, but one truth is enough to kill them, to destroy them. This is fact of life. No need to go to read any religion to understand that. सच्चाई छुप नहीं सकती बनावट के असरों से, we call in our language. Yes, that is right. It cannot be hidden. हम भ्रम में रहते हैं. हमारे पास पूरी शक्ति है, फिर भी हम भ्रम में रहते हैं, क्योंकि हम भ्रम में रहना चाहते हैं. हम एक कल्पना की दुनिया में रहना चाहते हैं. हम शेर और शायरी में रहना चाहते हैं. हम कविता मंडल में रहना चाहते हैं. हम ख्यालों में रहना चाहते हैं. बस ये ख्याली पुलाव पकाना चाहते हैं, खाना चाहते हैं और मजे लेना चाहते हैं. बस क्योंकि हमने कोई दुनिया में संघर्ष नहीं किया, कोई स्ट्रगल नहीं किया, हमारे फोर फादर्स ने किया, वो दुनिया में नहीं है. हमें बताने वाला भी कोई नहीं है कि हमें ये मिला तो कैसे मिला. दूसरे देश से लोग आए, हमको खा गए, वो जानते थे, हम नहीं जानते. हम समझ भी नहीं सकते उस बात को, क्योंकि हम अंधे हैं दिमाग से और आंख से. हमें सिर्फ पेट की आग बुझानी है, हमें दिमाग की आग नहीं बुझानी है. We just want to live for sake of our stomach and not because of our mind. We don't care about mind and our just how we need food and I need house and I need clothes and I need marriage and I need kids and that. That's what we define life as. For us, life is physical being. Life is physical entity to live. For us, no brilliance. Brilliance is not required by, oh, we can import technology from US and we can import technology from France and this and that is our end of life. Means we are living only 25 to 30% life. We are not living 100% life. Our philosophers, our philosophy, our formula, our science, technology, we claim that German has taken from here and America has taken from here. We are just believing because we could not protect that. We could not understand documents, we could not protect, we could not have writing value, we did not do that, and we will stop because of religion. We were never interested in writing, nobody wrote anything in past, and that's the reason we are doing the same thing today. We are not researching, we are not doing innovation which is what to be done. We are just doing, some people are doing for sake of their journals, for sake of their prizes or something, expecting some prize or promotion, and that's the reason, nothing else. How many people are working on research and thinking? How many people are thinking? Tell me out of 100 in society, how many people are intellectual? You will not find more than 1 or 2 or 3, or follows like animals. We are emotional people, we are sentimental people, can be swayed, we can be aroused by political people, we can be aroused by political parties, and we can be aroused by groups of society, the religion people. This is what our nature, we accept it, we absorb it very quickly, because we are used to that. And this is our great weakness. We have to check out this weakness. This freedom is not free. You have to understand that if you cannot protect it, you cannot dam it, you cannot put a dam on this river of our freedom, you will lose it. I'm telling you one day. You got it free because you don't understand what those people sacrifice for. They sacrifice for me and you. They did not sacrifice for themselves, they left this what they're not here. But they sacrifice for your this state of economy, this is state of parliament, this is state of judiciary, and this is state of executive. They sacrifice for this. What's the value of a person here in this country? You mob lynch one, kill them, you loot someone, you rape someone. Politician doesn't take any responsibility. Prime Minister doesn't take any responsibility. President doesn't take any responsibility. Chief Justice of India doesn't take any responsibility. Who is there to take responsibility? After all, it is their responsibility to keep us safe. In which country judiciary is dying, executive is dying, legislature is dying, and we are living in that country. I am freely speaking that. All these institutions have become INEX. All these institutions have become potentialless. They are not working according to requirement. They are not doing according to the constitution. They are doing according to their will. That's it. I find this right, it's my decision. No logic, no reason, nothing. This country has gone to that low profile level. Andher Nagri Chopat Raja, Takesar Bhaji, Takesar Ata. Is India going to that formula? No, we cannot allow that. That is the reason I'm calling Jyete. Jyete has a direction to you, has an order for you, has a design for each and every one of us. Means ultimately truth has to work, not false. But we are all doing based on false. We are all doing based on imaginations. This is very super critical state. Though it is only 72 years since we got independence, but period is very critical. You say curve like this is a very dangerous time here, a negative way. We can disintegrate ourselves, we can break ourselves, we can kill ourselves, we continue like this. Same thing happened that time, 3,000-4,000 years back. Same circle is coming, same repetition is coming. We may call ourselves whatever we may call, India, Bharat, whatever we may call, power and education people and non-education people and Vishwaguru. This is only imagination. Why you want to be Vishwaguru, my question is? Who are you to tell others what to do, what not to do? How can you be Vishwaguru if there are no teachers in universities? There are no professors in universities. People are not allowed to study. Students in many universities are barred from studying by many, I can say, fees enhancement, charges more and more, no scientific development, budgets are reduced, educational budgets are reduced, hospitals are public. So how can you say that you can lead to a status of world teacher, world professor? This is all fake understanding. All criminal understanding. You can say I am just lying that it will be Vishwaguru when I don't know what's path to that status. Vishwaguru, for what you want to be? First be your teacher of society at panchayat level, at state level, at individual family level. You don't have teachers. Your students are going to school, teacher is not teaching them properly. Student doesn't know what is translation, what is grammar, what is mathematics, what is tables, what is counting, what is something. No, they don't know. 90% marks and 95% marks, no use, because that is my cramming. That is my memory test. You are memory test and you are claiming I will be Vishwaguru, your teacher. How can you be that? Is it Satyameva Jyate? Satyameva Jyate has very wide meaning. Satya is very, very dangerous word because it checks you thoroughly. It's not easy to maintain Satya. Just people say in some religion, some society, Ram Inam Satya, when funeral is going, in particular in north part of our country, Ram Naam Satya hai. You know what happens? Funeral. Why only at time of funeral? Because at time of funeral, nothing is in your control. You cannot back that man. You cannot pull back that person is gone. You have nothing left, no solution. And there is no solution. Ram Naam Satya hai. Satya bolo gat hai. We call this or not? Why do we call this? Why don't you use in daily life? Why don't you use this before doing any act, every act? What's the problem? Is it religious? It's not religious. To call truth is truth. It's nothing to do with religion. It's a philosophy of life, humanity. If you don't use it, you use false, you cannot get success because false is imaginary, false is fabrication, false does not exist, false cannot stay. So if you do something based on false activity, surely it shall go to negative, it shall go to non-existence. Your time will be wasted, your money will be wasted, your person will be wasted. Everything will perish. You want perishable attitude, you want perishable life, you want to perish yourself or your ideas, your philosophy, your act, your work, or you want to protect that. That is up to you to decide. You are paying money to government for revenues, for maintenance of this country, running of this country, but that is being perished, that is being looted, that is being abused, and we are not caring, we are not worried. Only country in the world is ours. Only world country which does not have any degree of seriousness towards governments, have no power to raise questions to government, have no power to check where our money is going on, coming from. No worry. Whatever our government does, okay, no problem, we'll see after 5 years. We can wait for 5 years. In 5 years, whole country can be looted. We don't understand that. In 5 years, a small period. It's not a small period. It's a very big period. 5 years. It is around 1600 days. 1700 days. You can wait for 1600 days for someone to check. By that time, everything will washed out. That's what I'm saying. Person sitting in power is not based on Satyamev. Person building other institutions not based on Satyamev. They are all based on fake, false, lies. We respect them. We garland them. We touch their feet. We worship them because they know we are fools. It is very serious issue if you believe it. It's not serious if you don't believe it. Simple. If you want to keep our country safe, it is in your hands. And if you want that this country should be destabilized, that is also in your hand. Both are possible, both options. If you want to stay in this country with pride, with dignity, as our preamble says, as our, you can say, fundamental duties says, dignity. You are a dignified person per preambles of Constitution. You have been guaranteed justice, equality, and liberty. But where is that guarantee? Where is justice? Recently, it happened in many cases. Supreme Court ignored everything. It ignored EVM issue. It ignored Jammu and Kashmir issue. It ignored Rafah issue, and it caused injustice to most difficult, problematic issue of Ram Mandir and mosque. And we are digesting that. We are not openly speaking that because we do not believe in Satyam-Jyete. Court doesn't believe in Satyam-Jyete. Legislature forgets it. Executive forgets it. And public keeps a of cold stories. Happen what is happening. No problem. We'll see later on. And we will see when we die. Why are we accepting everything? We are under constitution, not under judiciary, not under legislature, not under executive, and we are per law. If some injustice is done to someone and that is done caused by top court of this country, we have a right to speak. Because why you think that you should keep silent? If some injustice is done to 1 crore people of JMK, we have a right to speak, but we are silent. For what? For whom? We are just keeping a very narrow approach in our mind that it is for Hindu and this is against Muslim. If that approach is occupying your mind, it is a very dangerous situation for you as well as for your country. Because you shall certainly dig into sea. And we are sinking now. This country has become a sinking ship. Sinking ship in economy, sinking ship in politics, sinking ship in laws and orders. Everywhere we are sinking. It starts with something and then intensifies. It spreads everywhere in your spectrum and you are still in. Are we living for dying? Everybody has to die, but that is natural process. But if your circumstances force you to kill yourself, are you living for that? Were you born for that? My question is very simple. We have to decide whose country it is. Is it public country? Or it is rascal politicians' country? Or it is executive country? Or it is judicial country? Whose country is this? Judiciary is not God. Legislature is not God. Executive is also not God. God is there. But for us, we have to self-support as a part of God. We have to self-support. God has given us what He had to give, that party, that power had to give. God has given us the resources. God has given natural power. God has given His bodies, God has given His health, everything. We have to understand and use that. But we are not understanding that because this is closed. My education has bound my mind, or my society has bound my mind, or my system has bound my mind, and that is I am unable to relocate it. I am unable to liberate it. Whereas Bible says you have to enjoy justice, you have to enjoy liberty, and you have to enjoy everything. And that's not simply enjoy, it is a guaranteed, it is a security so that you stay as brother in society, brother of each other, brotherhood with dignity. But is it going to happen? It's not going to happen. Previously, we used to call delayed justice is no justice, but now we call injustice is not justice. Injustice is not justice. Three clear examples are there. One is EVM issue, which we have been not delivered any justice for. So the Supreme Court ignored it. Another example, Jammu and Kashmir issue, which is also not regarded by Supreme Court. Supreme Court did not take for protecting rights and peoples of their state, which is very bad on part of Supreme Court. And also this issue of Ayodhya, where Supreme Court has intentionally failed itself, though it has delivered justice. It has delivered justice, but that justice is unjustified. That justice is questionable. That is a very dangerous state of affairs in our country. Some part may feel happy, Hindus may feel very happy, let them feel happy. I don't care about that. And Muslims may feel sad, I also don't care about that. I care about your approach. Your approach. Without understanding facts, we start happiness. We start celebrating. I am not talking on behalf of any community. I am just talking as a person to think and analyze what is happening, who is suffering, who is not suffering, who should suffer, who should not suffer. Complete fake consideration in that case. Completely fake, no logic. Means it appears, it seems that there was some direction from some source that you have to do it. Tacit direction. A direction by eyes, a direction unwritten, a direction unspoken, a direction just a production of threat, and assume threat. If you don't do this, you know what I can do. That type of command must have worked here. It's fact, and we have to take it very seriously, because our judges are also human beings. They are not machines. We are human beings. They are human, and those people in power are human beings. They are abusing power, and we are allowing them. Judges are using their authorities, and we are allowing them. Means we are not resisting anywhere. And when public doesn't reject, doesn't resist, it is also very dangerous. England caused one mistake on referendum for Brexit. They are still suffering. They're still suffering. Means your one action can derail you from your run. Similarly, there are so many actions that have derailed our runs, and we are not speaking. Our constitution has empowered every citizen to speak, to raise questions, but we are not raising because we are scared, or we have accepted that we are slaves. Just voting is one answer, not every answer. We'll say, oh, we'll see next time. And why see next time? Why give concession to this person who's in power? I cannot extend my concession to him. He has to work for me. I am paying him. This is my principle. If I am working somewhere for some of my client or for my job, I have to work because I am paid. And if I don't work, I cannot be paid. That is basic principle. You have the right to claim only when you do something, you deliver your service. And if I am unable to deliver my service, means I am based on I want money for nothing, for free. And that is not given by, it is not a gift. I have a claim, I must get it. So I am paying to these institutionalized systems for work, not for drama, not for lying, not for invisible, you can say, mistakes. They have to work because they are getting money. But we have no potential to ask them. We send one MP for 5 years. After that, we don't. And we vote in the name of imagination. Oh, that person shall be my prime minister or the person, without knowing that person, without knowing what is that person, we do vote. So when we don't know what is the meaning of vote, how can you maintain and run this country? 95% people vote for sake of voting only. not for sake of democracy, not for sake of social status, not for sake of sovereignty and republic. They just vote for sake of voting, and which is bad, which is incorrect. You have to vote for your future. You have to vote for country, not for just vote. Just a vote is not written in our constitution, and it is not life formula. Just vote for what? For imagination? I have to vote for imaginary candidate whom I don't know? It's a question mark. I have to vote for some candidate who is a prime minister candidate whom I don't know and I'm not rightful to vote. And I'm voting for that. I'm voting a party, which party I don't know. I don't understand philosophy of that party. I don't have any relation to that party, and I vote for party. So these are all ill treatment we are doing with ourselves, with our system. I am responsible, we are responsible for that. Why should we blame them? They know that they befool us, and they are successfully befooling us every time, and we are voting them. We are voting them for sake of voting. Oh, systems of democracy, it's my duty to vote. Your duty is to vote, that is right. But your fundamental duty is also there. Have you gone through that? Your premiums are there, have you done that? Have you been able to extract those three parameters of justice, liberty, and freedom? You have not got that. Has legislature delivered to you in 7 days what you expected? Has judiciary worked according to your requirement? Has executive worked accordingly? Has this media people worked according to your requirement? Are you getting what you should get according to your? All these are questions will not be answered. Who will answer them? First, we have to answer ourselves. We have to justify that, yes, we are satisfied at this point and not at this point. 20% are we satisfied, 50% we are satisfied, 100% we are satisfied, or we are having bonus marks. But how many of ours are realizing? We just take it for granted. Okay, 1,000 farmers committed suicide, 1 lakh farmers committed suicide. How many youth committed suicide because of economic problems? How many families committed suicide? How many people ran away with money from bank? Means we are just taking as if very, very easy, very normal, very common. If it is very common, then we are uncommon. We are taking everything as if nothing is there. If my money bank confiscates, I don't care. No problem. I will get 1 lakh, that's enough for me. Such mild people in Bharat are responsible. Such lack of awareing people are responsible for plight of our country. Our country is in a plight state, in a state which is a destabilizing state, a state where we cannot stand, a state where we are losing grounds of progress, a state where we can see we are losing every day, every moment. But we are not getting, we are not getting degree of seriousness. That is our weakness. Always we allege upon them. We allege upon public. We know facts and then allege upon. What can you do? People detect my vote shall not work alone. And I even if I do, they will not work. Nobody is very serious, and that is the reason I take it equivalence to sleeping status and serious status which is not existing, because we take everything lightly. You know reason? Reason is that food is not very expensive, or it was not very expensive. We could manage that. Our clothing was not expensive. Have we had lives struggling as America had, or US, England had, or another Canada had, or these Arabs had 60, 70, 80 years back, 100, 200 years back, and we would have realized where we should go. Because we had all nature with us, we had all rivers with us, all cows, buffaloes with us. We did not suffer from food, and we did not suffer from small housing. We could have that. We had good agricultural basis that supported our lives. We have every basis with us. We even augmented our population, multiplied and thrived that to 5 times, 6 times in 70 years. Even then we are existing. It means we had that power. You call it golden sparrow. Actually, that is golden sparrow. We were 30 crore at time, 1947. Just go back and see 30 crore people at that time, or maybe less. And now we are 140 crore, means around 4, 5, 6 times. We have multiplied 5, 6 times. Pakistan had 4 crore, I think 3 crores at that time, and they are not 20 crores. They have more multiplied, maybe 6, 7 times. So almost we are equal. 140 crore people, 30 crore people, 6, 7 times. 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 6, 7 We are able to afford population, but now a limit has come which you can call a critical stage, where pollution is rising, economy is falling, money is devalued, and people are so many that they cannot get jobs. Industries are falling, and you can say everything is falling except public is increasing, every diseases are increasing, every dirt is increasing. You can say rubbish rags are increasing, minds are getting septic. We have crowds of intellectuals in this country. I think even American population is lesser than what number of literate and intellectuals we have, yet we are not doing anything. If you talk to someone very intelligent, for example, qualified engineer or doctor or someone, you talk of this country, that person shall talk only to own field. If you talk to that one about some issues which are not directly related to that person, it's nothing to do with me. That politician has to think, leader has to think, our court has to think. Means you do not want to involve in any conference of like one-to-one conference or to group conference someone. That is a difficult situation. We are leaving everything to these robbers, politicians. We are leaving everything to court as if we cannot decide, court shall decide. First we have to think why we cannot decide. Why we want to depend upon court. When court takes 20 years, for example, this Ayodhya should take centuries. Or even forget centuries. After demolition of that building in 92, how many years have been over? 27 years have been over. 27 years post-demolition, this court has reached some conclusion, whatever conclusion it is, but I am saying it takes so much time and we rely upon that system of court. What is value of that system if somebody dies, petitioner dies or respondent dies, and then judgment comes? What is the meaning and relevance of that judgment? This means our judiciary is working for sake of working only, not for efficiently performing. And government is not providing with that facility which they should get. Yes, intelligent judges are there, system is there, everything is there, but is that working to requirement? It's not working to requirement. Our legislature is working to requirement, it's also not working to requirement. Just take example, I many times repeat that, it's very significant to understand. We have so many MPs in Lok Sabha and so many MPs in Rajya Sabha. Fine, they are there. First we have to understand what people they are. Are they our people? My MP is my MP mine? Is your MP yours? Just voted in, that's it. We voted into that person. I never met him. I never saw him. I never had his paper which show his CV of that person, what that person is, what qualification education he has, what back life he has, what mind he has or she has, what can that person do for me or for my state or for my nation. I don't have any information about that person. Either that person is politically oriented or you can say celebrity. Oh, this person is there, I give for him. Without even knowing that celebrity status or political leadership status does not equip you with good MP. If person is very high profile, it doesn't mean that can be good MP for you. Because first requirement is MP, not PM. If you cannot have a good MP, means you do not have good representation in your parliament. It is your representation that has to go to parliament. It is not prime minister representation that has to go. It is not somebody else's representation that has to go to Lok Sabha. We have to understand this point very well. And we miss this point every time. We think, oh, I have to see, there is no leader, there is no candidate for PM position. Why should I go to this party? Oh, why you are voting for party? What you have got so far by voting? That's the way. You have voted for 10 times, 15 times, still now. Did you get some people good for you? You never got anybody good. It may be Congress or BJP or SYZ, whatever they are. You never got any MP that could be your MP, that could be your representative. You never got, but again you are voting. You never ask question. That MP does not come to you. You don't know what is that person, where does it. He never has any problem listen to you. He never takes your problem to parliament. Then what role that MP has got with you? And same thing applies to member, LA. Legislative Assembly. We are voting for sake of voting. We are voting as if we are going to a temple and donating something. My vote is donation, you think? I don't consider my vote as donation. It is not donation. It's a power transfer. My vote is power for me according to Constitution, because I have a right to constitute Lok Sabha according to Constitution. Go and read Article 80, I think 81. Yes, read that Article 81. You will find that public has to constitute Lok Sabha by direct vote. And Constitution of Lok Sabha means territorial constitution. You have to constitute territorial constitution person who is representative as member of parliament. This point we do not want to understand. We constitute prime minister, which is not written anywhere in constitution. We wanted to constitute government, which is not written anywhere in constitution. Means we want to do something which we don't have power, and that is, you can say, a hoax election. You want to elect prime minister by your stupid mind, because your mind is not working. Your mind is not working to read what constitution says. You are electing PM, not MP. This is a reverse game. And these people know very well. These political parties know very well. They can befool you. They can see your mind or say, oh, you don't have any leaders. We have leaders. You are showing leader to me for what? I don't want any pre-named leader. I don't want to violate. I don't want to divide these MPs of their rights. This is their right to elect one good prime minister for me. It's not my right to elect one prime minister for him. If I elect prime minister for MP, then MP has to report to prime minister, but constitution doesn't say that. Constitution mandates that prime minister has to report to MP. This point you don't understand. If MP raises one question, oh, why are you asking this? Have you read my policy? This PM suppresses MP. While MP should raise question to PM, this is power of member of parliament. This is extraordinary power. And you have to elect your MP. You are represent, not you have to. He is your representative. He is your employee. He is your appointee. He is your attorney. How can I explain to you? He has to come to you and tell me what's the problem. He's paid for that. But no, not at all. He shall not even meet you. He shall not even come to you to see what problems are in your area. He shall not understand anything. Just sit in Lok Sabha, or even not sit there 5 years, and then again go, or somebody else come, or that person comes, and we again welcome some IA. Come on, sir, come on. You are MP, you are leader. He is not leader. You are leader. Remember. This philosophy, this basic principle, this scheme in Constitution, we always miss. Here, what I consider, education or illiterate, both are equal. I don't consider educated people literate in this case, because they don't use mind. If your education does not teach how to use mind, your education is completely baseless. Completely baseless. I don't consider that, because there is no difference between a fool and you. Your mind is not analytical. Your mind is not a reader. Your mind is not a camera. Your mind cannot catch secrecy. That is your weakness. Because you have confined yourself to your job. You have confined yourself to your existence, not national existence. Our fundamental right says, fundamental duty says, you are required for this nation when required. So when nation is in problem, when economy is in problem, when system is in problem, when there's unemployment, there's every negative aspect is working, you are required there. It's not only war. Economy is also war. Development of a nation is also a war. Flood is also a war. Where there's a flood, why people go there? They go not because of constitution, they go because of sympathetic attitude, as if they are doing mercy on them. That kind of approach comes in, emotional approach. Why that approach doesn't come for every problem? Why do you expect that there is a war in EVRs? It is not written that it is war. It is written whenever required to serve a nation, you have to serve a nation. Nobody has to ask you. You have to order yourself. You order yourself. Nobody can answer. Nobody can ask you. If you cannot train yourself, if you cannot command yourself, then you are not a good citizen of this country. You are a weak citizen of this country. You are a foolish citizen of this country because you cannot think. This is great statement and very forceful statement, and I apologize for this statement, but this is fact of life. A dog takes protection of his area when other dogs comes or intruder comes. But we don't protection when this intruder MP comes into our life. I call these politicians intruder into our system. They are not meant for the system, but they are intruding just to loot ourselves. Legal loot, as our one past PM said, organized loot. They are looting that. And we are allowing them, loot it, no problem. We are very rich, you can loot everything from us. This is very critical phase. Only country in the world, if you go to other countries, you will not find this kind of digestion, this kind of tolerance. And examples are clear. Lebanon, they are not able to tolerate that. PM resigned. Then in 13 days, PM resigned there. Lebanon, you know, this is country there in North Africa. Beirut, you know, Beirut, that is Beirut is capital and Lebanon is nation. It is Arabic one, Christian and Muslims. Mostly hill area, and not very much populated, but youth are everywhere. They know their rights. They fight for their rights. Of course, economy is also very bad there, but they are struggling for them. They have removed prime minister. They say no, everybody has to go. That is one example. Can you do that? It happened in Misr long back when president was removed out of that. It happens in Venezuela. Both governments are there, illegal and illegal. It happens in Hong Kong. How many examples do you need? Those youth are burning. Those youth know what is life. They know what is right. Because they are educated, they want to apply that knowledge. But our youth don't apply our knowledge. They apply knowledge to human, to individual. Oh, Modi is mine. That is application of knowledge, which is wrong. Modi is not yours and can never be yours. You are yours. You have to take your care, not Modi. Modi is taking his care, his party's care only, not your care. You are befooled, and you are accepting. Same thing applies to Congress. They are not taking care of people. They are not working as good opposition. They have to work something powerfully, but they are not able to challenge Modi. What's the use of opposition then if I have to take place as opposition? In fact, public is working as opposition to some extent. Those activists are there, but whole public should be there. If your prime minister commits all works wrong and you are allowing that prime minister to continue, you are foolish, you are weak, you have nothing to understand, you have no charm in your life, you don't understand life, you don't understand nation. My money is kept in bank and bank doesn't give it back. Can it happen in any country? Only in our country. I mean, you know, my notes are pulled from me. My power is pulled from me. I am dancing, I'm celebrating. This cannot be digested. How can I digest this? This is completely wrong. My money is for me, for country, not for prime minister or for party or someone else. My money is not for charity. I am paying taxes for development of this nation, not for political development. A party, BJP, has got so much money. How they got so much money? This is not a question. Nobody is asking. They are in power. They are abusing their powerful. Every you can say industry is paying them. Why industry is paying them? Who is industry? From where he gets money? Because he is earning, and he will get benefit of that. Nobody is raising this question. Why should political party be given this stuff, this worth money for political party maintenance? Ultimately, isn't that a bribe? It's a part of corruption. Legal is corruption. Public has a right to ask this. What for you build so many offices in this country? For what? Are you industrialist? Are you having factories? Are you having schools? Are you running universities? For what you build these offices? Why? What was necessity? Is it not a question? You came here to serve public or this country, or you came to serve your party. Nobody is asking that. Congress is acting that nothing is happening. A Congress party which should have been very responsible in each Congress never raised any question of EVM. Congress just comes to television, or you can say press conferences, issues statements, and bye-bye. Slips. Why? You don't have any responsibility. You rule this country according to the constitution for many decades. You have more responsibility to serve people. Still now, people expect you fight, but you're running away. Those people who are criminals in this country, they are in room because of you, because of Modi. 233, I think 233, yes. 45% criminals have reached upper Lok Sabha. Who is responsible for that? Congress and BJP are responsible for that. Because they did not make any law as such. Why did not Congress enact such law in their tenure? And why BJP did not enact such law in 6 years?